my name is Heather Hayes. I'm a physical therapist at the University of Utah with the ALS Multidisciplinary Clinic. And I want to go over today a very important piece of equipment, the power wheelchair. We do have a specific type of power wheelchair that we do recommend that individuals get into. It is one with all the bells and whistles. This is really that long-term device that's going to help you be more comfortable through the progression of this disease. So this is a what we call a rehab chair. It does not have a captain seat. It can be cushioned and contoured to assist you with comfort. A couple of things I want to point out is you may not need this early on, but we do like to be able to provide a headrest if you need to make any changes over time. This headrest is nice and adjustable. It can cup the head if they need to, but they can still turn the head if they need. All right? So being sure that you have a headrest is going to be important in the long run. I'm going to go ahead and keep her head in that position. The other thing that we can add are elbow blocks. If you were to take this wheelchair all the way back, and I'm going to show you how it does that, you don't want the arms to slide off the back of the chair. An elbow block allows them to get that extra support if they are all the way back in a reclining position. There's also leg supports. Sometimes we see the weakness in the legs and they're flopping open even though they're on the leg rest. And if they're opening and they can't control that, then you want to have these blocks available to be able to keep the legs in a nice position and help keep their alignment. Other extra devices include a chest harness for individuals who may have some weakness. It's going to go over here for trunk support and then bolt in. This would be really good when you're driving in a vehicle. They also make overhead harnesses that come down with 3 points to be able to hug you at the shoulders. So the reason why we typically recommend this type of chair is because it has several types of abilities that we can adjust. One, we can change the type of hand control that you may be using. We can put it on the left side. We can use head controls, and I will show you that. So for this next section, I want to go over the reason why we kind of like this type of chair, the rehab chair, is because it's going to give us a lot of flexibility to ensure more comfort for the individuals. So the reason why we do this is not just a captain seat that can only drive. This device allows us to take the individual into a tilt position. And as you can see here, the entire chair is going up. I love this position because of multiple reasons. It allows you to unweight your bum. And this is important for pressure relief. This is also why we need our headrest. It can go quite far back. Now, earlier I mentioned the elbow blocks. That's important if the arms were up here so they don't continue to slide back. But you can allow them to go as far as they feel comfortable, as long as they can still breathe. But I can also use this to help with dressing. Now I don't have to bend down, and I can help with dressing here. This also makes the bottom less, they're not sitting on it, so I can use it to help with pulling up pants, pulling down pants if I need to work on dressing or helping the individual with toileting needs. Okay, this position is a good position overall to help unweight the bum. It's a nice recliner. The other thing that we can do is we can go into a, just have the back recline. And now what you're going to see is she's going further upside down. And then we can also extend the legs. So basically she can come into a laying down position. And it can be quite comfortable. All right, I'm now going to bring her back up. Now everything should be, her pelvis should be centered into the back of the chair. And I'm going to bring her back up to the position and kind of show you can actually separate those. You don't have to go into a tilt. You can just go into recline and you can just lift the legs. So all of those are separate motions that are being driven by the wheelchair. I like the sounds. Okay, so that was the tilt position. And so there's lots of variability within that. So now we're not all the way in tilt, but maybe we want to bring the legs out. And we also want to recline. And now everything is happening. I push 2 buttons at once. So basically, it's a really fancy Cadillac and acts as a wonderful lounge chair to make individuals as comfortable as possible. Okay, so this again is a good posture for them to be able to make themselves comfortable. You might want your leg lifts on either side or the elbow blocks for them. But really, some of the key components here is this is only designed in rehab wheelchairs, not in a standard captain seat wheelchair that you may just buy on your own. These do cost a significant amount of money. Okay, there are a few additional parts that you can adapt to the wheelchair, and all of these parts will be bought up front when we order your wheelchair, because we know that these may be some additions that you may want on the wheelchair, and so you'll kind of have all of these pieces already ordered. This is a head array, and it allows the wheelchair to be driven with head controls. So you can do everything that I just showed you on the power wheelchair with your hands, you can do it with your head for individuals who cannot move. The other is, this is a very sensitive joystick, and instead of having to have a lot of maneuvers, this doesn't require a lot of effort from you to be able to maneuver the device. And if needed, we can also use it as a chin control so that you can drive with your chin. It kind of depends on your preference of how you drive your wheelchair. Also on your wheelchair, we can add an attendant control that would go behind so that a caregiver can drive the device if they want to.